Hello everybody. I am making a short little video for your viewing that is informative. This information is very informative, and it's important that you share the information I'm going to talk about with your friends, family, and important people that you talk to, whether it be co-workers, students, or the everyday citizen you see at your local grocery store. What I want to talk about is the Boston bombing, Falseflag massacre. There's a lot of questions that are being ignored by the mainstream media, and it's obvious that there are things being hidden that they don't want us to know about. It's alarming the mainstream media seems to be afraid to ask any of the hard questions that should be asked. They just seem to swallow whatever the authorities tell them hook, line, sinker without any following up on any of the things in this case that simply do not seem to make sense. So what kinds of questions should we or the mainstream media be asking which aren't being asked? I have 17 unanswered questions here about the Boston Marathon bombing that the media appears to be afraid to ask or even acknowledge. So I'm counting on you to watch this, listen to what I have to say, and inform others and ask these questions, whether it be on radio shows, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Question number 1. Why were runners being told that a bomb squad drill was taking place during the Boston Marathon? The following is from an article by naturalnews.com. Alistair Stevenson is a veteran marathon runner, and I'll repeat that, that's Alistair Stevenson, who has competed in dozens of marathons around the world, including the London Marathon. He's very familiar with the security typically found at marathons, and he immediately noticed something very, very odd about the Boston Marathon security. They kept making announcements on the loudspeaker that it was just a drill, that it was just a drill. And let me repeat that. They kept making announcements through the loudspeaker to all of the attendants that it was just a drill. There was nothing to worry about, is another thing that they kept saying throughout the loudspeaker. It's just a drill, there's nothing to worry about. And I'm quoting right now for you Alistair Stevenson, a veteran marathon runner who has attended numerous marathons throughout his lifetime. And let me continue as I quote Alistair Stevenson. And if you want to go ahead and Google this particular runner and his testimony, go on Google and type in Alistair, that's A-L-A-S-T-A-I-R, Stevenson, S-T-E-V-E-N-S-O-N, and I'm sure you'll find plenty of articles throughout the web affiliated with Alistair Stevenson. Now let me continue what Mr. Stevenson had to say. It seemed like there was some sort of threat, but they kept telling us it was just a drill. And let me remind all of you guys that local15tv.com interviewed Mr. Stevenson, and they have this on record as well. And let me continue quoting Mr. Stevenson. At the start of the event, the marathon, at the athletes' village, there were people on the roof looking down onto the village at the start. There were dogs with their handlers going around sniffing for explosives, and we were told on a loud announcement that we shouldn't be concerned and that it was just a drill. And maybe it was just a drill, but I've never seen anything like that at a marathon. Not at any marathon that I've ever been to. You know, that just concerned me that that's the only race that I've seen in my life where they had dogs sniffing for explosions and that's the only place where there had been explosions. So, my friends, let me sum this up for you. We have a veteran marathon runner who's participated in numerous marathons in his life. From what I'm assuming, he's probably been to a handful, ranging over 50 to 100 or maybe 200 marathons. And never before in his lifetime has he seen such a police state-like scenery at a marathon. So it is interesting. Question number 2. Why did authorities deny that a bomb squad drill was being held? Now, if we were told and if we were acknowledged by the media and if they acknowledged that this really was, here's what gets me. Why isn't the media reporting about this drill? That's what makes me think that there's something nefarious going on here. If they, let's say I'm watching CNN and I want to, and I'm watching, and they would at least acknowledge that this FBI bombing drill was going on beforehand. Then it would answer a lot of my suspicion. But they're just completely ignoring this FBI bomb, this drill that was taking place the same day, and the fact that they're ignoring that is very disturbing. Question number 3. According to the Mirror.com, the FBI is reportedly hunting a 12-strong terrorist sleeper cell that Tamerlan and Dogzakar Tsarnaev were allegedly a part of. A source close to the investigation said, and I'm quoting, this is a source close to the investigation of the Boston bombings, "We have no doubt the brothers were not acting alone. The devices used to detonate the 2 bombs were highly sophisticated and not the kind of thing people learn from Google. They were too advanced. Someone gave the brothers the skills, and it is now our job to find just who they were. Agents think the sleeper cell has up to 12 members and has been waiting several years for their day to come." Now, if that is the case, why are authorities in Boston adamantly insisting that the 2 brothers were acting alone? Contradicting reports. Very contradicting. Question number 4. CBS News is reporting that the FBI interviewed Tamerlan Tsarnaev back in 2011. The mother of the 2 Tsarnaev brothers insists the FBI had been in contact with them for up to 5 years. At first, the FBI denied that any previous contact with the 2 suspects ever took place. Will we ever learn the true scope of the previous relationship between the FBI and the Tsarnaev brothers? Most likely no. Question number 5. Debka, that is D-E-B-K-A, is reporting that the Tsarnaev brothers were double agents, which had been hired by U.S. and Saudi intelligence to penetrate the Wahhabi jihadist networks, which, helped by Saudi financial institutions, had spread across the restive Russian Caucasus. Could this possibly be true, and if so, will the American people be told the truth about these links? No, we'll never be told the truth about these links because we're too busy watching the Miami Heat and LeBron James and overpaid athletes getting paid millions of dollars, and we're too busy going to see movies, and we're too busy taking Viagra and trying to find our true selves. We're too busy leaving our spouses for an independent life that's meaningless and goes nowhere. There's no meaning, and this country has lost all of its values. No one really stands for anything anymore. But anyway, let me continue here. Question number 6. According to the Tsarnaev's uncle, there were mentors that radicalized the Tsarnaev brothers. So precisely, who were these mentors? Most likely CIA and FBI and government-related agencies, in my opinion. Question number 7. What happened during Tamerlan Tsarnaev's trip to Dagestan and Chechnya last year? Good question to ask. Question number 8. Were the Tsarnaev brothers in contact with a rebel leader named Doku Umarov? That's Dokuumarof. Were the Tsarnaev brothers in contact with a rebel leader named Doku Umarov, who is known as Russia's bin Laden? Question number 9. Did Tamerlan Tsarnaev post a video on YouTube last summer that expresses a belief that the 12th Imam, Mahdi, will soon come and that an Islamic army with black flags will rise out of a province in Iran known as Khorasan? Question number 10. Why aren't we being told that the pressure cooker bombs used in the Boston Marathon attacks are very similar to the kind of pressure cooker bombs that are commonly used in the Middle East? The Daily Beast has confirmed with U.S. counterterrorism officials that the bombs placed Monday at the marathon were made from pressure cookers, a crude kind of explosive favored by insurgents in Pakistan and Afghanistan. A recipe for a bomb that uses the pressure cooker was part of the debut issue of Inspire, the English-language online magazine of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Now, if these Tsarnaev brothers were truly allowed to do this, and they were radicalized, and they had Al-Qaeda motives, we must understand that this just isn't happening. They just don't have a hatred against us. This is a cause of a foreign policy that's been in place for years that completely neglects innocent, honest, good people in the Middle East. How would you like it if you woke up one morning, you lived about a mile away from a suspected extremist, you lived in, let's say, Pakistan, and for example, a drone strike hits a close neighbor of yours who is considered an Al-Qaeda member. Your children are outside. They're playing, tossing the ball, laughing, getting sunlight. It's a nice day. The drone blows up your neighbor who is a suspected Al-Qaeda terrorist, and your children happen to be in the vicinity of the drone, and they die. Their legs are ripped off and their arms are blown off, and you no longer have your children. And let's say your wife was outside with them and your family's gone, and you're a 30-year-old young Pakistani man. You just lost all your family one day due to negligence of a tyrannical government that has no emotion towards anybody nearby that terrorist. I don't think you're going to be singing the national anthem, watching the Cowboys game, saying I love America. I think you're going to be pretty angry with the United States. So we have to understand what's creating these suicide bombers and all of these men who are being radicalized. And unfortunately, this sick government of ours is taking advantage of the extremist movement in all these Middle Eastern countries. And now, as you see in Syria, they're being used, our CIA is using extremists like Al-Qaeda to destabilize governments that don't play ball with the United States. And when I say United States, I don't mean the United States. I mean the sick, demented foreign bankers, corporations, and corrupt leaders who have hijacked our country. And that is what's going on. Question number 10. Why aren't we being told Oh, I'm sorry. Question number 11. Here's question number 11 now. Initially, we were told that the Saudi national Abdul al-Rahman Ali al-Harbi, I hope I pronounced that coherently, it is a bit hard to understand. Initially, we were told that Saudi national Abdul Rahman Ali al-Harbi was a person of interest in this case, but now he is scheduled to leave the country with the full blessing of the United States government. And why is there such a rush to get him out of this country, the United States? Yeah, I'm sure all of you remember the Saudi national that they caught in Boston that night, fleeing the scene, running. We haven't heard anything about him. Question number 12 regarding the Saudi national. Why aren't we being told that Abdul Rahman Ali al-Harbi was photographed with 2 other Saudis in the vicinity of the Boston Marathon bombings? Question number 13. Why aren't we being told of the shocking familial links that Abdul Rahman Ali al-Harbi has to known members of Al-Qaeda? The following is from research compiled by Walid Shubat. Many from al-Harbi's clan are steeped in terrorism and are members of Al-Qaeda. Out of a list of 85 terrorists listed by the Saudi government shows several of al-Harbi's clan to have been active fighters in Al-Qaeda. And here are the names. Bados, you know what, I'm not even going to read these names. They're just too damn hard to pronounce. Question number 14. Why did the United States Secretary of State John Kerry have a private meeting with a Saudi foreign minister shortly after Abdul Rahman Ali al-Harbi was identified as a potential suspect? Yeah, the Saudi national. Why did Barack Obama hold an unscheduled meeting with the ambassador from Saudi Arabia shortly after the Saudi national Abdul Rahman Ali al-Harbi was identified as a potential suspect? Why did Michelle Obama visit the Saudi national Ali al-Harbi in the hospital? Why did numerous mainstream media outlets openly suggest that right-wing extremists were behind the bombings in the immediate aftermath of the attack? These are some important questions to ask, but from the article I'm reading you, this is an article from early May in InfoWars magazine, and there's many more questions now that arise from this mystery. 2 FBI agents just fell out of a helicopter that were involved in arresting the Tsarnaev brothers. 2 FBI agents have been reported dead due to an apparent accident of falling out of a helicopter during FBI training courses at an academy. I want to know more about this. Why isn't there mainstream media coverage on any of these 2 FBI agents that were just fell out of a helicopter that were involved arresting the Tsarnaev brothers the night of his capture, Dogsar Tsarnaev? And also, are you guys familiar with Tsarnaev's friend down in Orlando who supposedly admitted to being affiliated with the Tsarnaevs? He admitted something, and they killed him then. FBI agents killed one of Tsarnaev's good friends. I apologize for not having his name on record now, but they just murdered him after he supposedly admitted to being involved with the Tsarnaevs. Very odd, very odd. Then you have the Tsarnaevs' parents denying they had any involvement. There are just too many discrepancies here. And it's, as I was showing, I'm sure many of you guys saw those photos of the Kraft ex-Navy SEAL agents wearing large black backpacks on their back. Very disturbing. There is no media coverage on them. I mean, you almost have to be naive to the point where you have a comfortable life and this doesn't worry you, but it should worry you. because maybe your son or daughter will be the next patsy used for a false flag. And it's important we share this information with others. Just so many odd things, just like I was telling you earlier in the video, people at the marathon were being told through the loudspeakers to stay calm and to not panic, that it was just a drill, And then moments after those messages, bada bing, bada boom, you got a bomb going off. The Boston Globe, on its Twitter account, even acknowledged the FBI drill going on that same day, the bomb squad drill. And they tweeted just about an hour or two before the actual bombing went off to stay calm, and they tweeted that there was going to be a bomb squad drill that same day. So my main concern is, what is this drill? Why is the drill being ignored? And that's the main thing here, I think, in my opinion. That should be everyone's first question out of any other question. Why isn't the media acknowledging that there is a bomb drill going on? And I'm sure you're aware that on 9/11, there were simulation drills going on that same day. And so these false flags, they have these drills as a backup option. In case the false flag goes wrong, they can say, oh, don't worry, we were having a drill, no big deal. And I think that's especially a reason why they do have the drill. It's a backup option in case the actual terrorist attack gets fucked up. And you may ask yourself this: why am I even making a video about this? I'm making a video about it because it's a police state, and the police state affects our lives. We're losing more and more freedoms. You make one mistake now in your life with the law. Let's say you steal a little bit of candy and you're 19, or you make one mistake now, and we have a police record now that stays in a system, and we're basically marked by this tyrannical government, and we have to be obedient little slaves. You even question a police officer on anything now, you can be arrested. If you get into an argument with your wife or girlfriend, they call the police on you because they're spoiled or they don't know what else to do when the situation gets heated. Most likely, if you're a man, you'll be arrested under new domestic violence laws, and that'll follow you. You may never be able to get a good job again. So it is important that we understand that they're using false flags and all kinds of demented tactics to just control our lives. And I'll leave this video by saying, if you really want to get to the root cause of all this, it's the Rothschild central banking system. They've hijacked our country for almost 100 and some years now. Andrew Jackson warned us about these foreign bankers. Andrew Jackson was the only president to actually to get rid of our national debt. We haven't had any other president. And I suggest, if you guys want to understand how they go about raping countries and putting them in poverty and enslaving us, I suggest Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, and that is John, John Perkins, Perkins. He's on Facebook, and if you want to get his book, go to your library or order it on Amazon. I wouldn't suggest going to Barnes & Noble because they are overpriced. But if you have the money, go for it. Also, just like I was telling you, inform other people of what's going on, and ask the questions that nobody else is willing to ask. They don't want us to ask questions. They want us to be dumbed down, playing Call of Duty, watching Dirty Harry, watching Dancing with the Stars. It's a fantasy world. But to be honest, we're living in a reality right now that's more crazy than the fictional fantasy world that we're being shown throughout Hollywood. you know, it's so bad. The CIA, they're embedded in Hollywood. You got CIA propaganda like Argo, Zero Dark 30, and don't even get me started on Zero Dark 30. It was all propaganda. Bin Laden died years ago, a kidney failure that kept him alive as a boogeyman. And I guarantee you, when everybody wakes up and they realize that our CIA and government are funding Al-Qaeda, and they realize the charade is up, just like when they did it with communism, there's going to be a new enemy. And you might think I'm crazy, or you might think I'm a little bit out there, but I guarantee you, the new enemy, maybe it'll be in 10 years, 15, but they're going to milk Al-Qaeda as long as they can for national security reasons, to keep us in a police state. But the next enemy will most likely be aliens. And that is why aliens are being depicted in a negative manner in numerous Hollywood and television shows. You never see any shows that depict aliens as being kind or visiting our planet for positive reasons. So expect that in the future at some time, that they're going to be so crazy that they're going to scare the population with aliens. And I'm telling you right now, why is Area 51 blocked off? I think it's because our own government has UFO technology which they could fool the public with, and they could blame it on aliens when they're really just high-tech CIA military airplanes and jets. But I'm going to let all of you go. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me at CorporateSlaveBoy@gmail.com. CorporateSlaveBoy@gmail.com. CorporateSlaveBoy, one word, @gmail.com. Thanks and good night, all.